Hi guys, today we will learn about algebraic language. Now a lot of the times you may see something written out like this. A equals to xy plus cd. In algebra, something like this is called an equation. The reason it's called an equation because of the equal sign. Anything to the left of the equation, anything to the right of the equation, that's basically where your concentration is. When an equation is written out like this area where there's only one quantity is generally assumed that this is what the unknown is. This is what you're trying to find. And these are the things that should be given so that you could find this thing. Now you may find it in a lot of formulas, for example, in formulas of physics, where you may see that force equals to mass times acceleration. So the mass and acceleration has to be given to you in order for you to find the force. Very similarly, the formula for weight is mass times gravity. The mass and the gravity has to be given to you. Gravity is a known constant, and mass has to be given to you in order for you to figure out the weight. So the quantity to the left is assumed that is unknown, and the quantities to the right are the ones that you must be provided the values for. So now let me go back to my original equation here, where I have A equals to xy plus cd. Now in algebra, each one of these items are the parts of an equation. However, this region itself is called an expression. Expression. Now, in an expression, you can have terms as well as factors. Term. Term is anything that is separated by an addition or a subtraction. So here I see an addition symbol. So item to the left is one term, and item to the right is another term. So I have two terms in this particular expression. I have an xy term, and I have a cd term. Factors. Anything that is multiplying or dividing is considered to be a factor. So we have two factors here, x and y. In this term, we have two factors, and also in the other term, we have two factors. So expression is one side of an equation where you're trying to solve things. Term, anything separated by addition or subtraction. And factors, anything that is multiplying or dividing. So these are some of the terminologies to keep in mind. In algebra, whenever two quantities are written next to each other, they are always assumed to be multiplying. So you don't write a multiplication symbol like you write in general arithmetic. Here it's assumed that they are multiplying with each other. The other thing to keep in mind is sometimes we write things with a raised dot. Raised dot also implies that two quantities are multiplying. So these are different ways of writing, but generally you will see this form. You may see that form, but you are not going to see the multiplication symbol that you generally see in arithmetic. Okay, the other thing to keep in mind here is the terminologies that whenever you write a letter in algebra, we assume that there is a 1 here. We assume that there is a 1 here. Anytime we write a letter, so we don't write 1. It's assumed that it's 1. Similarly, we also assume that is to the power 1. We don't write to the power 1. And we have this rule even in general numbers and arithmetic. You will notice that in your regular arithmetic, you write 5, for example, which means that there is 1 5 quantity. You do not write to the power 1. When there are two 5s multiplying with each other, you write it out as 5 squared. That means there are two 5s multiplying with each other. You don't write two 5s as 2 times 5, because that'll be 10. 5 squared means it is the 2 5s that are multiplying with each other. Similarly, if I have 3 5s, it will be 5 to the power of 3. 5 to the power of 3. That means there are 3 5s that are multiplying with each other. Okay, 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. So this is basically 7 to the power of, come on, make a guess. To the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, something like that would also happen in denominators. So for example, if I have 1 over 5 times 5, then it could be 1 over 5 square. 1 over 5 square. Okay, similarly, if I have 3 times 3 over 7 times 7, I could very well write it out as 3 square over 7 square. There are 2 3's and 2 7's. If there were 3 7's, I would have written it out as 7 cubed. 7 to the power of 3. So these are some of the things to keep in mind in terms of the writing, the language of algebra, and things of that nature. So moving forward, we will then going to look into how you solve algebraic equations. Thank you very much. I'll catch you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.